जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना। यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। जय कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्यभामा। कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्यभामा। जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय। गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकतरेष्ठोत्तर सत श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस ऐसे भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकतरेष्ठोत्तर सत श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्भागवतम की जय। श्री श्री कृष्ण रुक्मिणी सत्यभामा की जय। श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, The Glories of Devotional Service, text number 27. Asevaya ayam prakritehe gunanam. Asevayayam prakriter gunanam. असेवयायं प्रकृतेर्गुणानां ज्ञानेन वैराग्य विजृम्भितेन ज्ञानेन वैराग्य विजृम्भितेन ज्ञानेन वैराग्य विजृम्भितेन योगेन मयि अर्पितया च भक्त्या योगेन मयि अर्पितया च भक्त्या योगेन मयि अर्पितया च भक्त्या मां प्रत्यग् आत्मानम् इह अवरुन्धे मां प्रत्यगात्मानम् इह अवरुन्धे मां प्रत्यगात्मानमिहावरुन्धे असेवयायं प्रकृतेर्गुणानां ज्ञानेन वैराग्यविजृम्भितेन योगेन मय्यर्पितया च भक्त्या मां प्रत्यगात्मानमिहावरुन्धे असेवयायं प्रकृतेर्गुणानां ज्ञानेन वैराग्यविजृम्भितेन योगेन मय्यर्पितया च भक्त्या मां प्रत्यगात्मानमिहावरुन्धे Asevaya, by not engaging in the service, I am this person, Prakriteha Gunanam, of the modes of material nature, Jnanena, by knowledge, Vairagya, with renunciation, Vijrambhitena, developed, Yogena, by practicing yoga, Mai, unto me, Arpitaya, fixed, Cha, and Bhaktya, with devotion, Mam, unto me, Pratyak Atmanam, the absolute truth, Iha, in this very life, Avarundhe, one attains. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Thus, by not engaging in the service of the modes of material nature, but by developing Krishna consciousness, knowledge in renunciation, and by practicing yoga, in which the mind is always fixed in devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one achieves my association in this very life, for I am the Supreme Personality, the Absolute Truth. Kindly repeat. Thus, by not engaging in the service of the modes of material nature, but by developing Krishna consciousness, knowledge and renunciation, and by practicing yoga, in which the mind is always fixed in devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one achieves my association in this very life, for I am the Supreme Personality, the Absolute Truth. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. When one engages in devotional service to the Lord in the 9 different kinds of Bhakti Yoga, as enunciated in authoritative scriptures, such as hearing, Shravanam, chanting, Kirtanam, remembering, offering worship, praying, and offering personal service, either in one of them, or 2, or 3, or all of them, he naturally has no opportunity to engage in the service of the 3 modes of material nature. Unless one has good engagements in spiritual service, it is not possible to get out of the attachment to material service. Those who are not devotees, therefore, are interested in so-called humanitarian or philanthropic work, such as opening a hospital or charitable institution. These are undoubtedly good works in the sense that they are pious activities, and their result is that the performer may get some opportunities for sense gratification, either in this life or in the next. Devotional service, however, is beyond the boundary of sense gratification. It is completely spiritual activity. When one engages in the spiritual activities of devotional service, naturally, he does not get any opportunity to engage in sense gratificatory activities. Krishna conscious activities are performed not blindly, but with perfect understanding of knowledge and renunciation. This kind of yoga practice, in which the mind is always fixed upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead in devotion, results in liberation in this very life. The person who performs such acts gets in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Chaitanya, therefore, approved the process of hearing from realized devotees about the pastimes of the Lord. It does not matter to what category of this world the audience belongs. If one meekly and submissively hears about the activities of the Lord from a realized soul, he will be able to conquer the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is unconquerable by any other process. Hearing or associating with devotees is the most important function for self-realization. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणम्। There is a story of a man who lived in a village in Bengal long time ago, in the olden times. And he was given to always engaging in activities of sense gratification. Eat, drink and be merry. That was his motto in life. Enjoyed a lot, drinking, smoking, eating all kinds of food stuff, womanizing, enjoyed life to the hilt. And gradually he became old. And then slowly he realized his body was getting weaker and diseases, old age, these were all racking his body. Then he realized that his death was near. Time for death had come. Now, in the olden times, we all know how people, they had the concept of papa and punya, pious activities, sinful activities. Today, of course, such considerations don't exist, mostly. But in the olden days, people had that. And maybe in the villages still, even today, some thoughts of sinful and pious activities do govern the people's actions and decisions. But anyway, olden time, that sense was very strong. And this man knew that his whole life he had engaged in sinful activity. And if your whole life engaged in sinful activity, what will happen? At the time of death, Yamaraj will come, Yamadutas will come, they will take you to Yamaloka, and Yamaraj will give you severe punishment. All kinds of hellish planets, Raurava and all those kind of things, and you will have to undergo all grievous miseries in proportion to the sinful activities you have done. This man became a little fearful. Whole life I have engaged in sinful activity. Now looks like death is nearing. I didn't think about it all these days. Now death is nearing. Yamadutas will come and take me to Yamaraj. How to escape this? He started thinking. He was thinking how to escape, how to prevent death. He knew that he is not powerful enough to counteract Yamaraj. Yamaraj is too powerful. Who can counteract death? Death is too powerful. So, with his own strength, to be able to physically or by creating some obstacle, he knew he could not prevent Yamaraj from carrying out his duty. He started thinking he has to think of some novel way how to prevent that. He thought, if I do something by which Yamaraj becomes repelled, Yamaraj will come, no, let me not go near him. Something like that. Some repulsive activity, if I do, Yamaraj should not come near me. Just like suppose the police is running behind you. Now you are running here, there, but everywhere police are there. Now if you want to escape them, you cannot run away simply like that. But if you do something by which the police will say, let him go, yaar, don't catch him, then it's very easy. You can easily walk off. Similarly, this man was thinking how to do something by which Yamaraj himself will say, hey, chhod do isko. He got a bright idea. He went to the toilet, picked out all the stool and smeared it all over his body. And he thought, now Yamaraj will not come near me, because naturally anybody comes near a man is smeared with stool, who will come near him? Everybody will run away. So he thought, by this I can prevent Yamaraj from taking away me. Such a foolish activity. Prabhupada quoted a Bengali proverb which mentions this. A man, he wanted to cheat death. And so he thought, let me smear stool all over my body, so death will not come, Yamaraj will not come near me. Of course, this is not such a palatable thing to discuss. But then, in that olden time, that man might have thought like that. But that spirit of trying to overcome death exists even today. That man might have thought, by smearing stool, I will cheat death. Today, what do? We will go and voraciously eat all kinds of food stuff. And then what we will do? We will go and get an annual checkup done, whether diabetes has come. If diabetes has come, what do? We'll go and take one medicine. And we'll pop the medicine and continue eating whatever we want. Similarly, we will engage in all kinds of sense gratificatory activities, and we will take one insurance, medical insurance, one health insurance, and keep in touch with some good local doctor, and identify which are the good multi-speciality hospitals, so that when problem comes, when diseases come, when the time of death comes, I'll use this medical insurance, go to the multi-speciality hospital, admit myself, get the best medication, and I will cheat death. Still others, what do they do? Prevention is better than cure. So let me go to the gym every day and work out, do a lot of exercise, walking. Then they will wear, all Apple watch or Samsung watch and all that. And every day they will walk, they will jog, and they'll keep tracking how many calories have I burned today, thinking that this will prevent death. Despite people doing all these things, eventually they will all have to die. This is the reality. Nobody by going to the gym has managed to cheat death. Nobody by going to the even in the multi-speciality hospitals also, it's not that everybody who gets admitted to the multi-speciality hospital will come out alive. So every multi-speciality hospital will also have a morgue where people who die in the hospital, their dead bodies can be stored. So these measures are not going to actually prevent death. Then how do we prevent death? Because that desire everyone has. Nobody wants to die. One man may be smearing stool on his body, another may be going and getting a medical insurance, another may be doing every health checkup every year, another may be going to the gym. So different people are doing different things, trying to prevent death. But none of these measures can actually stop death. Then is there no way at all by which we can prevent death? The Srimad-Bhagavatam here, Kapiladeva is telling Devahuti the real method by which we can prevent death, by which we can cheat death. What is that? Asevayayam prakriter gunanam. First thing is asevaya. We should give up the service to prakriter gunanam, to the modes of material nature. As long as we remain engaged in the service of the modes of material nature, we cannot prevent death. If we engage our whole life engaging in sense gratification, eating, drinking, sleeping, mating, and thinking that at the end of life, when I become old, I will do some activity and I will be able to elongate my lifespan, I can live longer, not possible. Death will surely come. The only way is asevayayam prakriter gunana. One must stop the activities which are in service of the three modes of material nature. Shri Shri Krishna Rukmini Satyabhama ki jai. By engaging in service of the modes of material nature, by engaging in eating, sleeping, mating and defending, and improving the standard of eating, sleeping, mating and defending, one cannot overcome death. One has to stop these activities. Now the question is, Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karmakrit. Nahi jatu tishtati akarmakrit. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi, not even for a kshana, not even for a second, jatu tishtati akarmakrit. Can a living entity remain inactive? You, by nature, the living entity's intrinsic nature is to be active. A dead piece of stone, if you keep in a place, it will remain like that. It will not move from there. It will remain there. You keep it there for millions of years, it will remain there. But a human being, you tell him, you sit here in this place without moving, and you should very still and without any action, without any movement, you have to sit here for 1 minute. And in your mind also, you should not think of anything. Possible? Not possible. Even if your body is inactive, if your body becomes inactive, your mind will become hyperactive. At least if your body is active, mind will be a little peaceful. You see how nobody can remain inactive. Either physically or mentally, one has to be active. That is because the intrinsic nature of a living entity is to be active. A dead piece of metal may remain inactive, but a living entity, whether it is an animal, bird, human being, whatever it is, some activity has to be there. And Krishna says that karyate hi avashaha. Everyone engages in activity helplessly. They are forced to engage in activity. Karyate hi avashaha sarvaha prakriti jair gunaihi. How they are forced to act? By the modes of material nature. The modes of material nature, prakriti jair gunaihi. The modes of material nature are forcing everyone to act. Now if you look at the world around us, you can see everybody is active. Everybody is working hard. The politicians are working hard so that they can win the election and come to power. The businessman is working hard so that he can increase his profits. The scientist is working hard so that he can invent something or discover something. The student is working hard so that he can get good marks in the examination. Teachers are working hard. Parents are working hard. Everybody is working. Nobody is inactive. And the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, everybody is active helplessly. Even if they want to, they cannot become inactive. Why? Because their activity is impelled by the three modes of material nature. Now somebody may question, nobody is forcing me to be acting. I like to research in science, so therefore I become a scientist. I like to take photographs, so I become a photographer. I like to dance, so I become a dancer. So nobody is forcing me. So how is Krishna saying that the modes of material nature are forcing us to act? No. This is not right. Somebody may question like that. So for this, a simple example. All of you are seated here on the floor, isn't it? All of you are seated here. Somebody is standing, somebody is walking. Now, is anybody forcing you to sit here? Or is anybody forcing anybody else to stand or to walk? Nobody is forcing, no. You're all seated of your own volition. It appears like that. Actually, you are sitting or standing because you are forced to do by the force of gravitation. If gravitation was not there, could you have sat here? Would you be sitting here? You would all be floating in the sky. If you have seen all these scientific channels, they create the cosmonauts who go into space, and they are within the capsule, within the within the satellite, within the capsule, what happens? There will be no gravity there. They will all be floating. And they want to drink water, they will take the bottle and pour like this, water will start going up. So you cannot do those normal activities like you will do on this earth. So you are sitting here because of the force of gravitation. The force of gravitation is keeping you grounded. It is not allowing you to go up. So you are forced to remain on the ground because of gravitation. This is the truth. But do you think like that? Do you feel like that? Oh, gravitation is forcing me to sit here. No, you don't think like that. You don't feel like that. But what is the reality? Reality is you are forced to remain grounded because of gravitation. That's the reality. Similarly, the modes of material nature are forcing you to act. And they are forcing you to feel for that act. That I like to do this. And what happens? You start thinking, no, it is my liking. Nobody is forcing me. I am doing it out of my own volition. We think voluntarily I am doing this. We are not doing it voluntarily. The three modes of material nature are forcing us into that activity. If that activity, whatever we are engaging in, was voluntary, if it was being done according to our own volition without anybody's force, then if I don't want to act, I should be able to immediately become inactive. Not think about anything at all, not do anything at all, become totally inactive. Like a dead piece of stone, I should be able to become. Can I become? I cannot become. It is impossible. That itself shows that the force of the three modes of material nature are making me think and work. After all, what is thought? Thought is the subtle form of work. In the mind, whatever thought, whatever action I want to do, first it manifests as a thought in the mind. And then the mind starts directing the working senses and then we start acting. This is the normal way we act. So actually, thought is the subtle form of work. And therefore, we have to be either physically active or mentally active. We are helplessly forced to keep acting at every point of time. So much so that even while sleeping, we become active in our mind. We'll start dreaming so many things. I'm doing this, I'm working, I'm going somewhere, I become a king, I'm walking in the forest, tiger is chasing me, I'm running. Mind is active even when I am asleep. Externally, you see, body is lying still. But internally, activity is going on. You cannot remain inactive. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karmakrit karyate yavasaha sarvaha prakriti jair gunaihi. Because the three modes of material nature are forcing us to act. Then, if we cannot remain inactive, even for a second, as Krishna is saying, then asevayayam prakriteir gunanam. How do I stop the service of the three modes of material nature? Because every activity is impelled by the three modes of material nature in this world. And you are saying, give up serving the three modes of material nature, then I have to become inactive. But I cannot be inactive because the intrinsic nature of a living entity, of a soul, of an Atma is to be active. So what is this conundrum? One hand, you are saying you cannot be inactive, Krishna is saying. On the other hand, if you want to cross over death, you have to give up the service of the three modes of material nature. Then, how do we do it? It looks like an impossible task. Actually, 500 years ago, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had appeared, he had advented. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the foremost scholar of his time. He was known as Nimai Pandit during his Grihastha days. Even as a very young student, he had mastered over Sanskrit grammar, and at a very young age, in his 20s, he had already opened a grammar school to teach Sanskrit. And at a very young age, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeated Kashmiri Pandit, Keshava Kashmiri, the great Pandit from Kashmir who had conquered all over India. When he came to Navadvip, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeated him in a matter of few minutes. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was an acclaimed scholar. Although he was an acclaimed scholar, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never showed himself like that. Later, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he went to Jagannath Puri because Shachi Mata, his mother, wanted him to be in Jagannath Puri so that she could keep getting news of him from devotees who would keep traveling back and forth between Bengal and Jagannath Puri. There, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was another great scholar. He was such a great scholar in Vedanta that although Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was a grihastha and he was very elderly, quite elderly, although he was an elderly person and a very great scholar and a grihastha, he would teach many sannyasis the philosophy of the Vedanta. Many sannyasis were his disciples, we can imagine. Normally it's the other way around. Sannyasis become the guru, grihasthas become the disciples of the sannyasis. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was such a great scholar that all sannyasis would become his disciples. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Jagannath Puri, he met Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. We know that pastime where Mahaprabhu came to Jagannath temple and he swooned in front of Jagannath and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya took him to his home and all that. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya saw that this sannyasi is very young. He is hardly 26 years old. And he is very handsome, very good looking. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya thought, this sannyasi is a very nice sannyasi, very good sannyasi, but too young. At too young a age he has taken sannyas and he is such a good looking person. How will he maintain his sannyas? Unless he immerses himself in studying Vedanta. And this sannyasi, instead of normally sannyasis in those days and today also, most of the sannyasis are all followers of Shankaracharya, Mayavadis. And all these sannyasis, once they take sannyas, their only work is studying the Upanishads and Vedanta. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is seeing this sannyasi is different. He is not engaging in studying the Upanishads and Vedanta. Every day he is going out and mixing amongst all the common mass of people and singing and dancing. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's fear increased because he had a lot of affection for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Young boy, he has taken sannyas. And he is going like this and mixing with all common people. In the streets he is going. There will be so many women, there will be men, there will be young girls. How this sannyasi will maintain his sannyas? He thought, I should advise this. Somehow he has taken sannyas, but he should not fall down. I should advise him. He called him and told him, why are you doing like this? Don't worry, I am there. I will teach you Vedanta. And by studying the Vedanta, you will be able to maintain your sannyas. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is so elderly, he is like his father, he could not say anything. He accepted. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya started expounding the Mayavada philosophy, Vedanta Sutra, and we all know how for 7 days he was going on talking. Mahaprabhu was not responding at all, not one single question, not even saying yes, not even nodding his head. Silently he will sit like this whole day. After 7 days, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became a little upset. What is this? I am going on speaking. He is sitting like a dull stone. He is not even nodding his head, not a single question. Are you understanding what I am saying or not? At least give this one. If you are not understanding, at least tell you are not understanding. Or at least give some sort of confirmation that yes, you are understanding. And then Mahaprabhu said that I understand Vedanta Sutra very well, but whatever you are saying, I am not able to understand one word also. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became very indignant. What is this? So arrogant you are? You are able to understand Vedanta Sutra, but what I am saying you are not able to understand? Come on, I want to hear what you want to say. And that is how the debate between Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya started. And then Mahaprabhu explained the Atmarama verse. He first, after talking about Vedanta Sutra for a little while, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted the Atmarama verse. and he asked Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, you explain this verse, let us see. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, using all his tarka, logic and all these kind of things, with Mayavada interpretation, I think three different ways he explained that verse. And then Mahaprabhu explained that same verse in 9 different ways without touching the explanations of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was stunned. He said, I have never heard this kind of explanation. Later, of course, to Sanatana Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained the same verse in 61 different ways. Isn't it? So, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya understood this sannyasi is not an ordinary sannyasi. He is something different altogether. And so he surrendered unto Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And from that day onwards, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya would explain all the Vedanta Sutras and Upanishads only through bhakti. And then one day, after a few days after this, after the Atma Rama discussion and all that, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya came to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Every day, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya would go to have darshan of Jagannath. Anybody who is staying in Jagannath, every day you will go for darshan of Jagannath. That day, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, instead of directly going for Jagannath darshan, he went and met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. First, he thought, let me go and have darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he asked Mahaprabhu that, Mahaprabhu, what is sadhana shrestha? What is the best way of rendering devotional service? Because there are many items of devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoha Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, as Prabhupada explains in the purport. Out of all of that, which is the best anga of devotional service? Sadhana Shrestha. This was Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's question. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, chanting Hare Krishna, chanting the holy names of Krishna is the best form, is the topmost, is the of all the types of devotional service, it is the topmost. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted that Brihan Narade Purana, Hared Nama, Hared Nama, Hared Nama Iva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva 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 Gatiranyatha. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained that to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. After hearing that, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was really amazed. And then Gopinath Acharya was there. Gopinath Acharya was the brother-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Before Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gopinath Acharya, because he was his brother-in-law, many times he had tried to preach to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, but every time Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya would refute Gopinath Acharya because Sarvabhauma was a very advanced scholar. Nobody could defeat him. At that time, Gopinath Acharya told him, you are not able to understand devotional service, the greatness of devotional service. Only when the Supreme Personality of Godhead blesses you, at that time you will be able to comprehend what is the greatness of devotional service. Now, seeing Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya becoming a devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, asking about what is sadhana shrestha and all these kind of things, Gopinath Acharya smiled at Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and told him, see, I told you, no, when Krishna will bless you, at that time you will understand the greatness of bhakti. At that time, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he said, yes, I was tarka andha. I was blind because of logic. And actually, Krishna did not show his compassion upon me. He did not show his kripa upon me. Because you are a devotee, and I am related to you in some way, I have a bodily relation with you, I am your brother-in-law. Therefore, Mahaprabhu has blessed me with this understanding of bhakti. So I am highly obliged to you. And he offered his obeisance to Gopinath Acharya. Although Gopinath Acharya was younger to him. And seeing this, Mahaprabhu was very pleased looking at Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's humility. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya took leave of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he went to have darshan of Jagannath. And because Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was the chief priest in the assembly of the king, King Prataparudra, he had great sway over the Jagannath temple. And there were a lot of servants, they would do whatever he ordered and all those kind of things. And every day he would have darshan of Jagannath, and immediately there would be people who would bring Jagannath Prasadam directly to his home. This used to be the system. That day, Along with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, after he had darshan, he was going home and there were servants bringing lot of prasadam, Jagannath prasadam. On that day, along with him, two other devotees, two other associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also accompanied him. One was Jagadananda Pandit, another was Swarup Damodar. Both of them, they were accompanying Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya took them to his home. And then he gave them all the prasadam and told them, please deliver this to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he said, I have written 2 verses glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Please give this. Please submit this at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for his pleasure. Swarup Damodar and Jagadananda Pandit, they read the verses, 2 verses, beautiful, wonderful verses. They were very happy. And they took that, and along with all the prasadam, they went towards where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was staying. When they reached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's residence, they were about to enter. At that time, Mukunda Datta, another devotee, another associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came there. And he said, what is this? Where are you going? They said, we have brought prasadam from Jagannath. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, we are taking to Mahaprabhu. And he saw in their hand, there are 2 leaves also. What is this you are carrying? Oh, this is 2 verses that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has written, glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mukunda Datta immediately he said, show me, I want to read. He read that. And what he did, oh, beautiful verses. Immediately he took up some piece of stone or something lying there. And on the wall of that room where he was staying, he wrote down those 2 verses. And then he gave back those 2 leaves and he sent them off. These 2 devotees, Swarup Damodar and Jagadananda Pandit, they came to Mahaprabhu. They handed over all the prasadam to Mahaprabhu. And they said, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has composed 2 verses glorifying you. He wanted to submit it for your pleasure. Mahaprabhu took that. He read that. Moment he read that, he tore it up. And he said, nobody should read this. What to do? Over, finished. But those 2 verses, Mukunda Datta had already copied onto the wall of the building. So all the devotees who were associates of Mahaprabhu, they all read that and they all by-hearted that. So even though Mahaprabhu tore it up, still those 2 verses became very famous. The first verse is that famous verse. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shikshartham Eka Purusha Puranaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shariradari Yes Kripamudir Yes Tamaham Prapadye. This was the first verse, and we all know that is a very famous verse. In this verse, what Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has said, Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. 3 things. Vairagya, renunciation. Renunciation means what? The same thing which is mentioned here in today's verse. What is that? Asevayayam prakriter gunanam. To stop the activities of sense gratification, to stop the service of the 3 modes of material nature means what? One has to be highly renounced. Without renunciation, you cannot stop the activities of sense gratification. You cannot stop serving the 3 modes of material nature. It is impossible. Therefore, the first thing stated is Vairagya. To stop the activities of material sense gratification, to stop the service of the 3 modes of material nature, Vairagya, Vidya, and knowledge. Knowledge means what? Not going to the college and studying ABCD, 1 plus 2 is equal to 3, and studying some physics and chemistry and biology. This is all not called Vidya. This is all avidya. How? These are all institutions of knowledge. The modern day colleges and universities, Stanford University, Oxford University, and Harvard University, and in India you have IITs and IIMs. These are all institutions of knowledge, and these are temples of knowledge. And what are we saying? They are all temples of ignorance. They are not temples. You cannot call them temple. They are all buildings of ignorance. How you can say this? You mean to say all those big professors there, they have done PhD and postgraduate, they have done so many things. You are saying they are all ignorant. Yes, they are all dealing with ignorance. Why? Because all of them are dealing with Jada Vidya. Knowledge about dead matter. How atoms work, how molecules work, how the cosmic world is working, how the universe is working. These are all knowledge about the dead matter. Therefore, it is called avidya or ignorance. Because any knowledge or activity related to dead matter is called ignorance in the Vedic scriptures. Then what is vidya? What is actual knowledge? Knowledge means to study the living entity. Who I am. Where have I come from? Why am I suffering in this material world? Why am I subjected to birth, death, disease and old age? How can I escape death? Who is God? What is my relationship with Him? Seeking the answers to these questions actually constitutes vidya or knowledge, because all of these questions are relating to the knowledge of the soul, of the living entity, not of dead matter within this material world. Therefore, vidya, vairagya, renunciation, vidya and nija bhakti yoga, devotional service to Krishna, shikshartham, to teach these three things. Ekaha purushaha puranaha, the oldest living person, the primeval supreme personality of Godhead, who is only one. There are no multiple gods. There is only one supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna or Vishnu. There are no multiple gods. 33 crore gods are there in Hinduism. No. There is only one supreme personality of Godhead. So actually, the Hinduism is actually also a monotheistic religion. Although modern day people think it is pantheistic. It's not pantheistic. Ekaha purushaha puranaha. That to shikshartham, to teach vairagya, renunciation, vidya, knowledge of the soul, and nija bhakti yoga, devotional service unto himself, that one single supreme personality of Godhead, what did he do? Sri Krishna Chaitanya Shriradhari. He has taken the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And why the supreme personality of Godhead has taken the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and why is he coming to teach us these things? Because Kripambudir, he is an ocean of mercy, he is an ocean of compassion, being compassionate upon all of us, seeing how we are struggling to overcome death, doing medical insurance, establishing multi-speciality hospitals, and doing health checkups, going to the gym. We are struggling day and night. And somebody is smearing stool on his body. All these things, people are doing all kinds of crazy and nonsense things, trying to overcome death. And Krishna, being compassionate upon all of us, foolish people, they don't know how to overcome death. He has taken the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and come to teach us these three things. What are the three things? Vairagya, Vidya and Nija Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, we have to understand that simply Vairagya alone will not give us liberation. It will not give us mukti. It will not take us back to Godhead. It will not liberate us from the cycle of birth and death. Because nahi kaschit kshanamapi, not even for a second can we remain inactive. If we are not active in rendering service to the three modes of material nature, asevayayam prakriti jair gunaihi, asevayayam prakriter gunanam. If we are not serving the three modes of material nature, we cannot be inactive. We have to do something else. What we have to do? Nija Bhakti Yoga. We have to engage in devotional service to Krishna. And devotional service to Krishna, Bhakti Yoga means activity. Bhakti means there are three things. One is Bhagavan, another is Bhakta, and there is Seva. Then only it is Bhakti. If Bhagavan is there, Bhakta is there, no Seva is there, where is Bhakti? There is no Bhakti. Therefore, the intrinsic nature of Bhakti Yoga is that you have to be active. Active in doing what? Not eating, sleeping, mating and defending. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Mandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. 9 kinds of activities you can engage in. Not 1 or 2 or 3. 9 kinds of activities you can engage in. And out of these 9 activities, you can engage in 1 or 2 or 3 or all of them. Like Prabhupada gives the example of Ambarish Maharaj. He engaged in all 9 activities. And there are examples of great personalities who engaged only in one of them. Parikshit Maharaj was only Shravanam. Sukadeva Goswami was only Kirtanam. Even if you do 1 or 2 or 3 or all of those activities, what will happen? You will become free from the influence of the 3 modes of material nature. What will happen? Jnanena vairagya vijrimbitena. Our hearts will become filled with vairagya and jnana. Vasudeve bhagavati bhakti yoga prayojita janayatyashu vairagyam jnanam cha yadahetukam. We don't have to strive for vairagya. We don't have to strive for vidya. Simply engage in bhakti yoga, automatically vairagya and vidya will take place within the heart. These are concomitant factors of devotional service to Krishna. And then by doing that, yogena mai arpitaya cha bhaktya. Cha mai arpitaya bhaktya yogena, by engaging in devotional service to Krishna. Not to some devata, not to Lord Shiva, not to Ganesha, not to Lord Shani or Durga Devi. You cannot render devotionally. Bhakti is not executed between a devotee and a devata. That is, although people may say, I am a bhakta of Lord Shiva, I am a bhakta of Ganesha, I am a bhakta of Shani Deva, etc. It is only a mercantile relationship. I do this for you, that devata will in return give some blessing. That is a give and take relationship. It is a commercial transaction. It is not bhakti. Bhakti means mayarpataya cha bhaktya yogena. When we render service to Krishna for his pleasure, not for satisfying my desires, then it becomes bhakti. So, yogena, mayarpitaya cha bhaktya yogena, by rendering devotional service to Krishna, what happens? Mam pratyagatmanam iha varunde. One will attain Krishna. What is this meaning of attaining Krishna? Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that once we go to the abode of Krishna, attaining Krishna means we go to the abode of Krishna. We go to Goloka Vrindavan. We achieve Vaikuntha Loka. Once we go there, yad gatva na nivartante taddhama paramam mama. Once we reach that abode of Krishna, then no more birth and death and disease and old age, all these things are gone. Then we would have really escaped the jaws of death. Otherwise, we can do all kinds of things within the material world. As long as we are engaging in sense gratification, as long as we are following the propensities that we have, thinking that this is what I like, I will do this. Actually, what is happening? We are being helplessly forced to act according to the impulsion of the 3 modes of material nature, and such kind of activities will only bind us more and more within the material world. We will not be able to escape death. Therefore, if you want to escape death, only way is render devotional service to Krishna. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shikshartham Eka Purusha Purana. This is the Shiksha. This is the instruction given by Krishna himself as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that if you really want to overcome death, then the only way is to render devotional service to Krishna. There is no other way, which is the same thing which here in today's verse, Kapila Deva is instructing Devahuti that either we have to serve Krishna or we have to serve his pure devotee. Whether we serve Krishna or we serve his pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, the effect is the same. We will develop Vairagya, we will develop Vidya within our heart, and we will be able to go back to Godhead. Just like we are all, what are we all doing? We are all simply serving the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada said, chant Hare Krishna, we are chanting Hare Krishna. We are not chanting any other mantra. Prabhupada said, we have to chant 16 malas, therefore we are chanting 16 malas. We are not chanting 14 malas, we are not chanting 12 malas. We are chanting 12 malas. Why? Because Prabhupada said so. Prabhupada said we have to fast on Ekadashi, we are fasting on Ekadashi. Simply by following the instructions of a pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada, what is happening? Knowledge about the soul. I am not the body, I am a spirit soul. Knowledge of Krishna, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vairagya, detachment from material sense gratificatory activities. All these things are taking root in our heart. Otherwise, how are all of us sitting here today and hearing Bhagavatam? The other day I was talking to one person who had come to the temple, and it so happened that the lady had just attended the Bhagavatam class, and she stepped out and said, I'm every day reciting the Bhagavad Gita. We have made a group, and every day we recite the Bhagavad Gita, a few verses of the Bhagavad Gita. So like this, we have completed 18 chapters. But today you are speaking of Srimad-Bhagavatam. What is Bhagavatam? How is it different from Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita, I know. What is Bhagavatam? People don't even know about Bhagavatam. And here we are sitting and discussing verse after verse of Bhagavatam every day. So how is this happening? This is simply because Vairagya has come in our heart. We are not interested in hearing anything else. Outside material world, people are busy with so many things. We have given up all those activities. We have given up our careers. We have given up our desires to earn money, become popular in the material life. All these things, especially temple devotees, we have given up all these desires. How such Vairagya has come in our heart? Simply because we are following the instructions of a pure devotee. Therefore, whether you render devotional service to the lotus feet of Krishna, or you render devotional service to the lotus feet of a pure devotee like Prabhupada, the effect is the same. What will happen? Vairagya will come, Vidya will come, and Nija Bhakti Yoga. We will develop pure devotional service to Krishna, by which what will happen? As Kapila Deva is stating here, Mam Pratyagatmanam iha varundhe. In this very lifetime, we will be able to associate with Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, we can understand from this, whether it's the teaching of the Bhagavad Gita, whether it is teaching of Kapila Deva in the Srimad-Bhagavatam, or the teaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all of them are the same. We have to render devotional service to a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, and under his direction we have to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, and by this we have to develop knowledge of the spirit soul, we have to develop renunciation, and we have to develop pure Ananya Bhakti. We should be able to render pure unalloyed devotional service to Krishna, and by this Iha Varunde, within this very lifetime we will become liberated, and at the end of this lifetime we will be able to go back to Godhead. I'll stop here. Grantharaj Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.